May goes up to the 2 spot behind Allen Gibbs. The 8 pick is interesting because it's the first pick on the draft board where you're kind of by um, Joe Burrow. And I have a ton of Caleb Williams in this format already, so we may take Chase. Although I hate taking a wide receiver in round one in this format because if you don't go quarterback in round one, you have to. At least I think you have to go quarterback here and here, which means we're picking up our first running back here, and we're still weak at quarterback. It's just Chase gets pulled up. Oh man, we're gonna get a gift. So we're gonna get Daniels or Burrow, and I am much happier. Just instruction wise, taking a quarterback in this format in the first round. We've done quite a few of these. I think this is our 11th or 12th at this point. And, watching how construction flows out, if you don't go quarterback up here, man, your room doesn't look good. And yeah, you end up with a really awesome piece like Gibbs or Robinson or Chase, but your construction is weak. Your overall construction is weak. So happy to pick up Burrow. Happy to have him fall to us. And then it's just a straight after Chase. It is just a straight run on quarterback down to Prescott. So this is one of the after having the Chase player pull him up. This is one of the hundredest double QB starts I have ever seen. Like you sometimes find Purdy down here. After Lawrence goes, you find Lawrence in the middle and Purdy down here because these folks want to take advantage of the few remaining blue chip assets in Puka and Smith and Jigba or McCaffrey or whatever if you feel that way. Here, we did just get Dart in the other one. I am not super high on Patrick Mahomes, so I think I don't. It's tough. I guess just to get some diversity here, I'll pick up Mahomes, but I don't love that pick. Um, I actually am higher on Purdy than Lawrence this year, and Lawrence is still in that same tier. And then Mahomes comes down considerably, and it's not even necessarily health concerns. It's just overall. It's just overall, what's that team going to look like this year? The offense struggled last year. I know Rashi Rice is going to be back in place. It's just not a Mahomes guy. And it's not because I'm an Allen fan and a Bills fan, maybe partially, but just not in fantasy. He's not an asset I want to be spending second round draft capital on. But again, I guess I take Mahomes over Knicks or Goff or Murray. They're in a tier below. Dart was the only other consideration, and we got Dart in the last draft with Caleb Williams. So just to switch it up. And then I'll look to obviously grab Rashi Rice. Rashi Rice in this format goes a lot later because obviously double quarterback. He's going at 59 in ADP, and we are at 56 coming back this way. So if he makes it down that far, we can grab him. All right. After McCaffrey and Taylor Knicks go, you've got Dart, Goff, Murray. So the Gibbs player did get Goff. The Allen player opts to kind of go with, the tricolor start in Allen Brown Cook. And I've seen quite a few players do this out of the one, just kind of grab a blue chip asset at every position. That's one way to do it. The May player who pulled up Shud as well. And it's funny because I pulled May up last year in my 2 QB lead. Or actually, I didn't even necessarily pull him up. I did take him about a round ahead of ADP, but he was my planned QB2 in both my leagues. And so, um, you know, I can't talk too much shit about that because that's what I did last year. But pulling this guy's just taking his shots and getting his quarterbacks. So we shut off the board, who I would look to stack as my third one with here at 32. If we get Stafford, I think we take him. We also have Jordan Love or Baker Mayfield. And in these drafts, I really like, if you can do it, starting off with 3 strong quarterbacks and then just ignoring the position the rest of the way through, rather than having to try to sprinkle in different value later. So I like both Love and Mayfield's assets later in the draft, but I'm gonna pull up. I guess he's not pull up. He's higher in ADP. I'm gonna take Love here, and the reason I'm gonna do that is um, Reed has been falling a little bit, and Watson seems to be right here in this ADP. So I think there's just good stacking options here, which this opens up to great stacking options. We could grab T Higgins, but I think we're going to be in running back land here at 41, and T Higgins is going at 66. So we could look at T. Higgins here at 56, but we could also look at him. We're going to get him an ADP here at 65, which would be great. So I would like to take running backs with both of these spots. Hampton goes off the board. He would have been my preference of the guys left, but I'm happy taking Chase Brown. In fact, having the correlation with Burrow and Chase Brown would be great. Brock Bowers is not an asset I want to mix in right here. But that being said, if Achan, Walker, and Chase Brown all go 1, 2, 3, I'm going to be in a predicament, a pretty significant one. And with these guys, both the 9 and the 10 drafter having two quarterbacks and a receiver, they're probably going to take running back here. So this is like apocalypse because I don't want Jeremiah Love and I don't want to pay Brees Hall, Travis Etienne, Kyron Williams, Jameson Williams prices in this range, and that's exactly what happens. So I would take Achan, but I don't think Achan's going to make it past the Caleb Williams, Smith and Jigba, Darnold player. So oh, that hurts. Okay, so I don't have a ton of Jeremiah Love this year. He's just someone I'm kind of fading. I wish I had taken my quarterback here, my running back there, and then taken one of these quarterbacks that's left. We could grab Bowers. That's absolutely reasonable. We could also grab London. Um, you know what? I'm going to pull up Brees Hall above Love and draft him. Oh, brutal. That happens to me once a draft. If you watch this channel, you know that there's an honorary I time out thinking about a specific pick once per draft. It's only 20 seconds in this lobby. I would not have pulled Bowers up there. It's okay. I'm not like it's fine. It's totally fine. But I was going to pull up Brees Hall and grab a running back to think you want to do that. The running backs we're going to see here at 56 and 65 are fine. But I did want to grab potentially Higgins or Rashi Rice in that range, which means we'll only be grabbing one running back through there. But it's okay. You shoot multiple bullets in a tournament like this. Like I think this is a 20 entry max, and I've got 12 of them done. It does. I am back at work unfortunately now, and it does seem to be closing quickly. But I'm going to jam as many as these as I can. So this bullet here with Burrow, Mahomes, Love just happens to have Bowers in it. Bowers is returns to the form of 2 years ago. That will be the greatest pick ever. Way better than Brees Hall. So whatever. Um, there can be no such thing as draft regrets in fantasy football, whether it be best ball, certainly not best ball because shoot more shots, right? Fire more bullets, but definitely in redraft. There can never be fantasy regrets. You just got to do what you think is best at the time. And the story for me that highlights that the most is last year, actually, in a lead that I ended up winning in a two quarterback lead. I passed Joe Burrow in the second round for Nico Collins after starting with Bijan Robinson. I was drafting in a work league, and I thought I was going to get good QB late. I ended up just having a smattering of jerks, and because of that, I definitely kicked my own butt. Ended up winning the lead. Burrow got hurt, and we seen the first game and the second game of the season. He got hurt and ended up winning that lead. So no draft regrets ever, whether it be redraft or best ball. Just take the dudes. It's fantasy. Okay, we did a gift. We did Kyron Williams here, and that was the range of guys I was going to be looking at, right? Like Brees Hall. If you want to argue that Brees Hall and or Love are ahead of Williams here, I don't actually agree with that. I actually think that like I'm highest on Javonte Williams, and I have ETN in that same pile. ETN kind of through Jacobs is the same pile of dudes to me. I'm highest on Javonte Williams, but you could convince me that either one of the Williams duo here, Hall, Love, or ETN, is the best asset. You could convince me of any of it, so it's not super into the world. We definitely wanted to target Rice or Higgins here since we get Kyron Williams, and there's a chance at salvaging our backfield. I'm kind of looking at Statabu or DeAndre Swift. I know that there's no correlation. I know that we would get T. Higgins here, but because this is a two wide receiver and not a um, three wide receiver format, I think it's really important to get two running backs that can go into your lineup every single week because your flex spot, your traditional flex spot, is going to need some love too. And so to that end, you're going to want some running backs who can wind up there some weeks during the year. So I love T. Higgins. I think he'd be a great addition to this team, and maybe there's a lot of you who watch this who would absolutely snap T. Higgins here with Joe Burrow already in the stack. but I'm not. And you guys know I'm way overweight with Cam Statabu, and I'm just going to keep that up probably until the season gets there, until the season goes. We actually, to note, after Bowers goes, we would have gotten, and it would have been guaranteed, but we would have gotten Mendoza there. So again, we weren't planning on taking Bowers, but again, there's a lot of arguments so far as we've constructed this team out that taking Omari and Hampton, which is my highest player of this pile here, would have boded well better for our construction, but no complaints. I mean, Love is fine. I just don't have Love as necessarily a premium option. He's just a serviceable option, but it's all good. T. Higgins goes right after we take Cam, but I'm happy to have that running back there. If we have a running back that we like at 80, we will take them even over another receiver. We probably won't though. I've seen Quinshon Judkins fall a ton. DeAndre Swift definitely won't. Bashal Tutin is somebody I would stick on the squad, but I'm starting to get overpriced on him. And same thing with Jadarian Price. The wide receivers in this round are good. I think I faded Wilson the entirety of my portfolio. I just don't like Hall or Wilson specifically, but there's some good wide receivers value here, but there's no stats for us necessarily. Our stats come a little bit later. Like Christian Watson is at 90, almost 90 here, and Jaden Reed is a lot lower. So is Matthew Golden. So um, yeah, I think we'll be okay. We'll be okay shape for a wide receiver core here. If we get a wide receiver here, we'll definitely take another running back. So the Allen St. Brown Cook player got Jones and Young, knew they had to take quarterbacks here, and then got Swift and Judkins. So I actually like this squad. I think for going with the three different blue chip pieces here, then making sure regardless of value, you get two more quarterbacks here. So at least one of them is one of your super flex, but then getting Swift and Judkins is a great value. Their construction is actually pretty good. The Drake May Kyler Murray Shud player got Etienne, Collins, Irving, McLaurin. That's pretty good. No stacks, but pretty good. We're about to be on the clock. Then we'll keep looking at the teams here. All right, Henderson, Waddle, Wilson, all off the board. I don't think we get Price and Tootin if we pass here, and I think we'll get one of the wide receivers. So I'm gonna take Bashal Tootin. Happy to have him at 89. Obviously, we'd love Jamison Williams, but he probably won't fall. But this is where Christian Watson is, so we'll take him. I have too much Roma Dunze. I've got to stop taking it, but we'll be looking at Christian Watson or Jamison Williams if he falls. I guess because of the stack, I mean, I'm higher on JMO than I am Watson, but I guess we take Watson here. Watson's ADP is 89.7. This is the one thing that does happen in this range of the board, though, in the 7-8, is that everybody kind of needs wide receivers. We're lucky here because our two draft picks to the right got two blue chip pieces in Smith and Jigba and Puka. But yeah, so there goes Christian Watson. These folks who opted to prioritize running back and quarterback just zap all the wide receiver value here, which is fine. I mean, again, I don't need the stats. They're nice to have for sure, but they're fine. Had we known that, maybe we wait for a Pollard and we take a Christian Watson. Yeah, and I do try to prioritize stacks because again, you're shooting for the upside, but not every team has to have fat stacks. Does the Puka player opt to take Devontae Adams here? That would be interesting. He's the last of the tier. I like Roma Dunze a lot. I just have so freaking much of him this year. It's ridiculous. Seem to always get him here. So, I mean, we'll take him. I'm not going to not take him. The Smith and Jigba player already has three wide receivers, so we might get him here. He might look to take his third running back or his third quarterback after Brissett. You still have two on the board. He opts for Tony Pollard, so he did want to go running back there. So we get a gift in Devontae Adams. That is great. We'll probably look to double tap wide receiver here at 104, 113. There's still going to be some pretty good talent on the board because of the environment we're in. So you're looking at the Parker Washington. We'll flag Harrison and Tyson too, but they probably won't fall. Metcalf, Pierce, Sutton, Quentin Johnson, Jaden Reed, Lemon. Reed is going at 119 though, so we got a large swath of guys there, so we should get Reed here. If we get greedy and want to grab somebody else out of this pile and then hope to get him on the back stack. We are the love drafters, so we should want him more than anybody else. But all right, looking at some other teams here, Daniel Stafford, McCaffrey. Then goes London, Devontae Smith, Higgins, Wilson, Tua. I think that they missed the mark there. I think that they're just going to be too far behind at running back and candidly kind of quarterback too. The wide receiver core is sick, but the Chase team, who got Taylor Jefferson, McBride, Pickens, McMillan, Evans, and Hubbard, has not drafted a quarterback yet. Okay, I don't know what the four team is doing unless they're planning on just taking everybody's backups around 10 through 18, maybe. Taking eight backup for I don't know what the plan is there. Deshaun Watson, I suppose, is still a starter. I just again with us going 3-1-2-3, I'm not taking another one. If these guys don't pan out, we don't win the league. Like we don't win. We this team doesn't advance. That's totally fine. Sometimes you don't know. Where are we at in tight endville right now? Fannin, Laporta, Pitts. Um, Kraft goes there. I guess we could have thought Kraft, but we already have Bowers, so we don't really need another blue chip piece. Kelsey, I guess. If we find a Kelsey, we just take him and leave it at that. Okay, where are we at here? Okay, coming back around to me, Rico Dowdle's still on the board, and I really like him this year. I like Dobbins too, but with Williams, Stataboot, and Tootin only having Devontae Adams, I think I'm certainly taking a wide receiver out of this pile. Um, of these guys, how many picks are behind us? 8? Does Jaden Reed make it back to us? I mean, probably. Dowdle, I have a lot of Dobbins. I would have taken Dowdle, but he goes there. So of these guys, who do we want? I've got some Sutton, I've got some Johnson. I don't have a ton of Metcalf. I guess we just take DK Metcalf. I'm not huge on him this year, but that's fine. Again, I'm not going to pull Reed up that high. There's still a lot of value on the board before Reed comes up, including Cortland Sutton and Quentin Johnson. So for any folks behind us who are really just have to get wide receivers, there's still some really good ones. And so there's, I don't think we're at any risk of not getting Reed here. It could happen, but whatever. Whatever. Again, Kelsey's at 124. So if Reed goes, we could also grab Kelsey. I'm not huge on Kelsey this year either, so not something I necessarily want to do. But when you get a Bowers, McBride, Loveland, I actually think that, or even arguably a Warren, depending on how high you go here, I think there's an argument for looking for the next tier of tight ends, which either starts with or ends just before Warren comes up. Kraft, Pitts, Laporta, Kittle, Kelsey, inferred is maybe included, maybe. If you get two of those guys, you don't need a third. But if you have a Bowers or a Pitt, a McBride or a Loveland, and you wait all the way to the last round to grab Giuseppe, I think you probably do want three at that point. Like, I'm going to grab Jaden Reed just to get the stacking piece here, and Kelsey's a stacking piece too, but Kelsey would be coming up way high. He's still at 124, and there's a chance he could fall. We've had on our left, we've had Loveland, McBride, and Kraft all go off the board. So the Chase player still does not have a quarterback. I'm questioning what's going on there. Um, yeah, I don't understand. You gets Deshaun Watson, I guess. Okay, and my guess is they'll grab Concepcion here. I just don't think this is a winning strategy. The Bijan Robinson player took Dart and Lamb, so then grabs Cam Ward, Hall, and gets Mendoza. I guess we gifted him Mendoza, but right, so because we're the Bowers player, but he got Hall and Henderson, Lamb, Tate, Pierce. Tate is stacked with Ward. I mean, this seems not too bad, and for getting double positional value through 3, it's pretty good. Now, the Gibbs player and Genty did the same thing. Gibbs, Genty, Goff. Then got Stroud, Love, McConkey, Ibuka, Dunze, Tyson, Tittle. See, if you're going to wait and your QB2 is the Malik Willis through Bryce Young range, I think you want a third quarterback. I think you absolutely want. So if he thinks Stroud is going to really ring the bell this year, I guess you can go this route. But man, I think you really want a third quarterback just to give yourself some breathing room on your CJ Stroud, on your Cam Ward. Now the Bo Nix Bo Nix Willis player is also the Jackson player, so they've already got the breathing room. I like that. They got Barkley, Williams, Loveland. Waddle, Thomas, Washington. Now they're picking more running backs up. So they got a pretty similar construction to ours. We got we both have elite tight ends. We both have a pretty stout running back room. We both have three QBs. Their QB1 is better, arguably, than Joe Burrow, but I like our staff better. Penix goes, which we're not in the mood for, or in the market for. We will take Kelsey. He falls all the way down to us. So with Bowers and Kelsey, we're not taking any other tight ends. So we're done at quarterback. We're done at tight end. Uh, and we have a lot more running backs and wide receivers to get. So now the fun begins. Okay. I don't think either of these guys are wheeling, but they're not. Myers, Pearsall. I don't know that I want to fade Tracy, but I don't love Tracy. I guess Golden's the priority there. We Our range is 132 through 139. We're at 137. So yeah, I'm guessing Golden is our priority. We're likely to get him, and he is our priority anyway. So I think that's fine. The Watson player will probably snap Concepcion. He goes in this area of the board. So Corum, Gainwell, Mason. Yeah, these are all very serviceable assets behind a Chase Brown. He went Hurts, Mayfield, Puka, Rice, Neighbors, Warren. Only as Chase Brown is now just grabbing serviceable assets for his RB2, but he's going to have that hole in his roster, I think. So we're on the clock. We'll grab Golden. Oh, wait, we're not on the clock? We're on the clock in one. Yeah, we're on the clock in one. He grabs Kincaid. Now we'll grab Golden. And picking him up, we have Reed and Golden stacked with Love. We only have the other receivers are unstacked. We have Adams and Metcalf, and both Mahomes and Love have stacking options, obviously, with Kelsey. Burrow is naked, but that's okay. We did obviously pass Higgins because we just needed the extra running back value. We just wanted it. We would have gotten not Pollard down here, maybe a Hubbard. So if you take a look at it and you take Statibu out, put Higgins in, and we have Hubbard instead as our third, I don't know if I love it. I actually think this is the right way to do it. So we would have had that stacking piece, but this team's fine. I actually really like this team. The construction is solid. Like if this team is doing its thing, we can suffer some inconsistency because it's doing its thing. I don't love DK Metcalf. I think he's kind of a hole in my roster. I'm hoping that on a weekly basis, Reed or Golden can find myself as wide receiver too. We also are banking that Tootin or Statabu, who do not wind up in our RB2 slot. Occasionally, you're going to wind up in our flex. Which, speaking of which, that's kind of the position I want to start targeting now is running back. I'm happy with these three. Feel very good about it, but we need to start flexing out that room a little bit. So at the 152, Chris Rodriguez is still on the board. Okay, I'll fly both these guys. The 152, we literally have Isaiah Pacheco, who I have 0 of this year. So there's also, I mean, man, there's really good wide receiver value here. Although I think the Watson player is going to take Concepcion, right? Where's the Watson player? Right here. Only has Deshaun Watson. So basically said I'm never going to have a quarterback to my Superflex. I'm not even have a backup to my um, Deshaun Watson. And I guess you could grab Sanders. No, Sanders went here. He didn't get Sanders to fall. But he's got Chase, Jefferson, Taylor, McBride, Pickens, McMillan. I mean, the team's insane. The roster is positionally absolutely insane. Looks like drafting a regular lead for an 8-man. Chase, Taylor, Jefferson. I don't even think you could get that in that format. And McBride, but he's got three first round picks and a second round pick on his team. So all right, Coker goes, Mitchell goes, Chris Rodriguez finally goes. I don't love Isaiah Pacheco. I'm higher on Algier here. I'm going to take Algier. I think he just could be in that offense regularly and even with or without injuries, etc. Now the wide receiver value is kind of dried up for me in terms of this ADP. Rashid Shaheed, Omar Cooper, Travis Hunter. I just don't think they're where it's at. Travis Hunter did have some really big weeks at the end of last year, one in particular. Uh, but I'm not sure where he's playing on the ball. I mean, I guess maybe he's the value to take if he falls down there. I just don't. A, probably won't, but B, I like the running backs in this range. Like I like Coleman, I like Dylan Sampson. So I think that's why I probably don't have any Travis Hunter either. Is A, I just don't know how much offense he's actually going to play. Well, I guess B, I don't draft a ton of Trevor Lawrence, and it's not that I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I just don't draft a lot of him. I don't have him in my ADP range for some reason. He just doesn't seem to be on the board, or I prioritize other guys around him. Like I like Purdy better than Lawrence, and so I'm drafting him out of ADP there. Um, but then also C, I just you know I like the running backs in the range. So it's like yes, I can get Travis Hunter, but I'm always pretty interested in a Dylan Sampson. So McMillan, Boston, any sneaky stack in back here? I don't see any. Pacheco's still on the board. Nobody wants that guy. I just don't think he's gonna have a home in that offense. I really don't. And even if they give him a small one, I don't think he's a performer. So all right. So after grabbing Algier and Sampson, I feel a lot better about the five running backs we have. We have four wide receivers as well. We're probably gonna go with seven running backs and eight receivers is if I had to guess, mostly just because we're going to want the depth when we have a double stack bye weeks. That's within. Speaking of bye weeks, how we doing? 6 5 11, great on the quarterbacks. 11 8 7 14 11, fine, totally fine with our running backs. 11 11 9 11, ugh 3 week 11s, but obviously with Reed and Golden that's going to be the case. But all right, can't draft week 11 buys or should stay away from them. And later in the draft, I think it's okay to do that. Early, I wouldn't worry about who has bye weeks through the first 8 rounds, right? When you get to round 15, then yeah, you can pay attention to bye week because all the guys down there are the same. So just take the guy who does not have a bye week with matches that your team conflicts with. But Tucker, Juwan Jennings, Denzel Boston. If you one of these guys, you're very strong on one of these guys, then disregard what I'm saying. Just take your guy. Otherwise, doesn't matter. Flournoy doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference. This is all the same die. If the only priority you'd place is if you had a stacking option, which back here I don't think I have any. Uh, we did not even think about Worthy. Where did Worthy end up going? Probably down this end of the board, right? Yeah, right there. All right, we're almost back on the clock. Now this range of wide receivers is going off the board. I'm pretty split on Jawan Jennings, Jalen McMillan. You could make a case for either. I'm happy with either. There's also Sean Tucker. If he makes it around, I'll probably stick him in the lineup too. Oh, there's also Emmett Johnson. I guess maybe we could grab a little bit of him. We don't have any of him, and he's fine back here. So it does make it to us. We have McMillan. We have Jawan Jennings. I'm gonna grab McMillan. I'm pretty. You know what? No, let's grab Jawan Jennings. And I say that because I draft more Mayfield, so I tend to have more McMillan. So we'll just diversify a little bit here. On the back rack. Okay, so Johnson goes there. On the back rack, we'll look at Jalen McMillan, Sean Tucker, Flournoy. If one of these guys is here, I don't have any Alvin Kamara. I guess he's also interesting. Does Kamara go there? He does. If Tucker makes it back to us, I'll take him. He probably won't. So then your next run is like Trey Harris, Ray Davis. Ray Davis is yeah, he is a sneaky pick to me because I feel like um, he can win you some games. And if Cook goes down, he just is a lead winner. And I'm not praying for Cook to go down. I'm a Bills fan, so please don't. But if he does, he's a piece you want. So we'll see who he takes here. If he doesn't take Sean Tucker, I guess more inclined to take Sean Tucker just because I think he'll get random weeks where he'll wind up in our flex or even our RB2, and that's all you need. And if it happens in week 17, you win all the money. Yeah, all right. I guess we're grabbing Tucker. Singleton probably won't make it back to us. Um, we'll probably look for a wide receiver, just kind of balancing out our picks as we go. And we are in the 20, we're in the 200 range. So, Branch, Bernard. I have no Ridley this year. I think I'm going to keep it that way. Oh, there is Von Sharon Lloyd down there. I think I would maybe grab him. You also got Malik Washington, Dontavian Wicks, the whoever's. So Our team is so far Burrow, which so far we're almost done, but Burrow, Mahomes, Love at quarterback. Like it. It's a fine stack. Kyron Williams, Cam Stadaboo, Bashal Tootin, Tyler Algier, Dylan Sampson, Sean Tucker looked very much like the backfields that I draft. A lot of Cam, a lot of Dylan Sampson and Tucker, starting to be a lot more Algier, Tootin's in there. Don't got a ton of Williams as I tend to draft Javante Williams ahead of him, but that's fine. So, like the running back room. Wide receivers probably where we're weakest because we did get Brock Bowers, but we have Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Jaden Reed, and Matthew Golden both stacked with Jordan Love, and then Brock Bowers and Travis Kelsey. Kelsey notably stacked with Mahomes. So I do like that the back end of these drafts tends to go pretty quickly. Like guys just are taking whoever. We'll take Zachariah Branch here. Although honestly, we could take Singleton and just be done with it. Uh, no, I. You know what? I'm gonna grab. Oh, Branch goes. Well. You know what? Let's take Lloyd, and I think we're done with running back now. And now we'll grab three more receivers at the back end of the draft here and just be done. So on our next pick, which is the 209, um, yeah, Tank Dell, that's fine. Dontavian Wicks, all these guys are fine. They probably won't wheel. Ted Hurst is fine. Uh, I don't think I have any. I maybe have a little bit of Ayuk this year. I'm not trying to draft any more of him until I know he's playing for a team. If he's playing for a team, he's probably not playing for a team. And then we're done at running back. Seven's fine. So seven's fine when we have these three guys. Like our running back sort of merry-go-round should be these three guys, and occasionally not one of these three guys. So I feel pretty good about that. Singleton and Bernard both go. I mean, the value down here is pretty transparent. I don't think too many people are confused about some of these names. So we'll hope to get one of these guys. I think, yeah, I'd fade Ayuk and Cup here and pick up, you know, Pat Bryant, Darnell Mooney. Where is Hurst? Is he lower than that? No, he's up here. Okay. We have this in order. Any other guys I like down here? I have plenty of Troy Franklin. I tend to take him a lot down here. Christian Kirk's fine. Tyquan Thornton. I guess Tyquan Thornton. Oh, did he just go? Are you serious? No, he didn't. Okay, great. Yeah, let's throw him on the board. But he's 233. So, yeah. Oh, is Justin Fields still on the. He is. You know what? Let's take him. I wouldn't normally do this, but I think it's just, it's interesting to do just because of Justin Fields being able to run the way he does. The heck with it. Let's take it. Yeah, I could use another receiver, but I think this is just tricky. We don't have to do this, but I just thought about it and I'm like, this is a two quarterback format and he could be valuable. Yeah, the heck with it. We're going to take Justin Fields. He's at 228. Oh, no, we could get one of these receivers. We'll take it. We'll take it when he falls. We'll take Tank Dell, and if he falls back to us, we'll take him. It doesn't matter if he doesn't, but that's just kind of like, I think that's kind of tricky. We're at 224. I think it's kind of tricky. I like it. That means we'd only wind up with seven receivers, but we have Adams, Metcalf, Reed, Golden, Juwan Jennings, Tank Dell. I'm okay with that, and we would get one more. So, and we're looking at Thornton late here to stack. So, yeah, I think I actually like just kind of putting Fields in the mix. Now the Deshaun Watson, Carson Beck, JJ McCarthy. I'm just going to ignore quarterback all draft long guy. Might take him. So we'll see. Interestingly enough, Allen, Jones, and Young did grab another one. They got Cousins. May, Murray, Shug did not. Yeah, typically you won't after you go three in a row. Dartward Mendoza opted for no others. Burrow, Mahomes, Love is us, and again we're thinking about stacking. Fields in there. Daniel Stafford gets Tua and Penix, so they stacked that with London, so that fell to them. That's pretty good. Did they get McLaurin on this team? They did not, but they did pick up Tua and London. And I think if you're gonna do these two quarterbacks up here, if you're gonna get one piece of that quarterback room, you would kind of want both. So the Deshaun Watson player can take Justin Fields now. Does not. Opts for Colby Parkinson. I have so many of these Gesicki, Stowers, Parkinson tight ends on all my teams. I've been kind of prioritizing grabbing not even just Kelsey Bowers, like not like that, but like the Kincaids and Likeleys of the world in my last few drafts. I have so many of the bum names. It's kind of funny. All right, here I will take Justin Fields, just to sprinkle him in. Why not? And then we'll take Thornton on the crackback and be done with it. I don't think we needed to do that, but that's kind of tricky depending on because like the way I see it is again, if these three guys aren't healthy and doing their thing, you're not winning this tournament. But if they aren't, and that one that isn't is Mahomes, then we actually might have some sneaky upside with Fields. He could have some week where he's a 24 point, 25 point guy because he runs into touchdowns. So, because he's going to be in a much better offense. You've got to remember when he was doing his thing at like uh, New York, the New York Jets, for example, there was also a terrible offense, and he was still getting production that season that he started most of it. So, all right, final team: Burrow, Mahomes, Love, Fields, Williams, Stadabu, Tootin, Algier, Sampson, Tucker, Lloyd. Wide receivers: Adams, Metcalf, Reed, Golden, Jennings, Dell, and soon to be Tyquan Thornton here. And tight ends, we did get a premium one in Brock Bowers and Kelsey. Overall, I like the construction of the team. I think that getting the three quarterbacks allowed us to even quote unquote make mistakes, right? When we got Bowers, like that, we weren't planning on taking him, but it still turned out okay. I like the depth of our position. I like our upside. I like some of our stacks. Yes, we had to pass on Higgins. I don't know if a lot of people would agree with that, but that's just how I like to draft with running back priority. Yeah. So thank you guys for checking out the channel, checking out the vid. If you liked it, please hit the like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one.